21 Savage has had one impressive music career so far. The 26-year-old rapper from Atlanta, Georgia got his first taste of success when his song Red Opps went viral, and currently has over 100 million views on YouTube at the time of this recording. 21 Savage then went on to build a massive fan base for himself that brings in solid numbers on just about everything he releases. But it wasn't just his music that had fans obsessed over him, it was also the way he presented himself. 21 Savage gave off the vibe that he really was about the things he rapped about, and nobody even questioned it for a second. But his latest situation with the law and immigration had everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about him. ICE even came out and said that 21 Savage's whole public persona is false. But is that really the case? Is 21 Savage actually a savage? Or is it all a persona to sell records? Well, we have the answers. Here is an exclusive inside look at the criminal history of 21 Savage. Now, a lot of 21 Savage's childhood is unknown, but according to his team, he was born in the United Kingdom and migrated over to the United States when he was just 7 years old, despite the claims that were circulating around online that he was only 12 or 14 years old when he came to America. When 21 Savage first came to America, he settled in East Atlanta. Growing up, he had little to no money and was surrounded by crime. His first run-in with the law happened when he was only in the 7th grade. According to 21, he had beef with a few classmates in school. One day, he got word that the group of rascals were planning on jumping him. He was not going to let that happen to him, so he brought a pistol to school the next day in hopes that they wouldn't jump him. The group of rascals immediately scrapped their plans of jumping him and instead snitched on him to the principal. This led to 21 Savage being expelled from school, as well as being banned from every other school in DeKalb County. After spending a few days at home following his expulsion, his mom got sick of him just sitting around the house and eventually just told him that it was actually only a 10-day suspension. She did this in hopes that he would just go back to school and the teachers would act like nothing ever happened, but as you can guess, that wasn't the case. He did go back to the school, but he ended up just fighting the group of people he had beef with, which led to the school calling the cops on him because he wasn't even supposed to be there. 21 was then sent to a juvenile detention center, where he spent an unknown amount of time. Once released from the detention center, 21 Savage was accepted into an alternative school, where he actually made it through the school year without any problems, and finished the 8th grade. During the summer, 21 Savage got into selling kush to the Atlanta locals, and was making pretty solid income. He then started high school, but completed only one semester before dropping out to become a full-time kush salesman. This decision led to him getting involved with gangs, and he soon became affiliated with the Bloods. On top of being a kush salesman, he also stole some cars and committed some robberies throughout East Atlanta. And surprisingly, he only got arrested once during this period of his life. That arrest happened in 2014, while he was in the process of meeting up with one of his clients. On the way to meet up with the client, 21 was pulled over by Fulton County Police and was arrested on felony drug charges. Now, this sounds bad, but it must not have been, because in early 2019, it was revealed that the felony conviction was vacated, and the charges for that arrest were dismissed back in 2018. After realizing where his life was headed, 21 Savage decided to make a change, and focused on rapping rather than crime. A big thing that fueled this change in 21's life was not only his felony arrest, but the fact that he lost a close friend in the shootout on his 21st birthday. This change eventually resulted in 21 Savage becoming a worldwide celebrity, and he even amassed a $12 million fortune in the process, which is way more than he would have been making if he was still a kush salesman. But despite doing a complete 180 with his life, the police still managed to find a way to arrest him. On February 3rd, 2019, 21 Savage was riding around Atlanta with his cousin and fellow rapper Young Nudy and 2 other men when the vehicle was pulled over by law enforcement. The reason the vehicle was pulled over was because Young Nudy and the other 2 men were targeted in a gang operation involving charges of aggravated assault and for violations of Georgia's Gang Act. 21 also claimed that he was targeted due to the officer saying, "Oh, we got Savage," upon arresting him, but this is unconfirmed. After they were all detained, they discovered that 21 Savage is actually a British national who's been living in the United States illegally ever since his non-immigrant visa expired back in July of 2006. Officers soon got ICE on the case, and eventually arrested him and held him in an immigration holding cell in horrible conditions. This all came as a huge shock to the hip-hop community, since everyone thought that 21 Savage was born and raised in Atlanta. He didn't even give off the slightest clue that he was from the UK. After his arrest, an ICE spokesperson came out and basically tried ruining 21 Savage's reputation by saying this whole public persona is false, which is weird for them to even say in the first place since it has nothing to do with his situation. After a few days in an ICE holding cell, more details came out from his team that gave a better explanation of what was going on. They confirmed that he was in fact born in Newham, London, but came to Atlanta at the age of 7. His visa did expire back in 2006, but he didn't really have any concerns about it until he wanted to start to tour outside of the country. His team then went on to say that he's been trying to get a new visa for several years, but has been having issues with the process due to his 2014 conviction that is now overturned. 21 Savage ultimately spent 9 days in an ICE holding cell and was later released on a $100,000 bond. The case is still pending and will continue to be pending for a long time, but in the meantime, 21 Savage is still going about his business like nothing happened, while his team handles the situation privately. They are confident that 21 Savage won't get deported. He still had some legal troubles after his release from ICE custody though, because days after his release, the Liberty County Sheriff's Office announced that they had a warrant for his arrest. Once 21 got the news about his warrant, he immediately turned himself in to authorities. The charges against 21 Savage was 1 count of felony theft by deception. This charge stemmed from a concert booking back in 2016 where, allegedly, he was booked by a promoter for $17,000, but ended up not showing up to the concert and kept the money. 21 ended up being released the same day he turned himself in, and is required to show up to a court date in the near future. His lawyers claim that they have the situation all under control and will have it taken care of as soon as possible. So, in the end, 21 Savage seems to have a few incidents from his past catching up to him, but as of recently, he's been keeping his hands clean of any crimes, and plans to keep it that way. He has made it clear that he's a family man now, and he's really big into saving money. I also want to note that 21 Savage is one of the few rappers who owns their own masters to their songs, so he's clearly a pretty smart guy when it comes to business. I hope 21 Savage stays on the path of success and continues to win. Well, there you have it, the complete criminal history of 21 Savage. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be making videos like this several times a week, so make sure to hit that notification bell as well to never miss an upload. Also, feel free to comment down below on who you want to see a criminal history video on next. That's all I have for today. I'm out.